Hello, everyone. It's February 1st, 2022. Welcome to P-Bolic Notes. I'd like to share with you some of my looking at what's going on with the gaming tokens in this market. It's been kind of bearish, as we all know, in the last couple of months, with Bitcoin and Ethereum both having a bearish cycle, and they kind of have gone down quite a bit in the last little while. And I'm curious to see, obviously we expect 2022 to be a big year for the tokens that are with the gaming community. And I'd like to see if the charts have improved or if they're still kind of bearish. So I'll share with you today what I'm looking at, and then let's see if any of these could be a good time to potentially buy in the near future. Before we get started, I'd like to, as always, make the full disclosure that I'm not a financial advisor, so everything I'm sharing with you here is really on my personal investing. And if before you exercise anything, before you buy any investments that we're talking about today, do your own research, and of course, double check with your financial advisors. So to share this screen, I will do it right away. And then let's look at see what is going on with the gaming tokens. The first thing I like to do is, before looking at anything else, is kind of look at what's going on with the actual Bitcoin and also with Ethereum as well. So what's going on with Bitcoin right now is that it's still right over here. If you look at the weekly chart and look at this SMA and EMA crossover, still very bearish. And so right over here is when we started going really negative as of December 6th, 2021. This is an indicator that I learned from Benjamin Cohen. And it's excellent because when Bitcoin does go below these positions, which is basically below the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA, is when altcoins do poorly, and also this is when also Bitcoin does poorly as well. So Bitcoin is still pretty bearish. And if we keep this chart here, and if I look at what's going on with Ethereum versus let's say the US dollar, we notice that Ethereum as well, it's been kind of pretty bearish. And if you look at the Ethereum's chart, and if I add let's say the moving averages to see kind of where we're at as far as the moving averages are concerned. So the good charts, good indicators I like using are going to be the 50-day and the 100-day moving averages, and the 200-day moving averages. This way we kind of get a feel to see where things are at as far as moving averages. So right now, so obviously we see that Ethereum is below its the 50-day moving average. And if I add the second one as well, which would be the 200-day moving average, that way we'll kind of see if there's anything that's happening that's important, or if anything that is happening that is kind of going to be indicating a bullish or a bearish change. So we notice here that what's happened here as far as Ethereum's daily chart is concerned, if we go to the moving average, so it looks like we've had the 50-day moving average crossing below the 200-day moving average. So obviously this is kind of a lagging signal, meaning that it's going to be giving this indication to us way later in the game. As you notice that Ethereum used to be sometime around early December, it was at around $4,600 US, and it obviously had a significant drop. And so right over here, sometime around late January, a couple of days ago, was when we saw this 50-day moving average do a death cross, meaning that it went below the 200-day moving average. So basically, this happened right over here. But right now, Ethereum is below the $3,000 US mark. So meaning that it's done quite a drop. This may change in coming days, but for now, it's still below this 200-day and 50-day moving average. And if we look at what's going on with the top gaming tokens, I'll look at, let's say, Axie Infinity, the Sandbox engine, Gala, and WAX. So if we look at the top 5 tokens, it will give us a kind of a good idea to see if they're going the same way as the two blue chips, which are Ethereum and Bitcoin, or if they're doing anything that is going to be different. So before I even look at the actual token, I like comparing it to Ethereum, because if the actual token versus Ethereum is bearish, then there's no point to look at it, because we know that you might as well just buy Ethereum if you're looking to invest some money. So Axie Infinity is still a very negative chart versus Ethereum, so meaning that it's not doing that great as far as Axie Infinity is doing with the actual chart. And if I go and chart it over here to see what it's doing basically with against the US dollar, we're going to kind of see the same thing. So here it is. So obviously Axie Infinity versus the US dollar. So we see that it's been a very bearish, almost a catastrophic fall since sometime in, let's say, early November. So that's already noted. So we can forget that one. If we look at this next one, the Sandbox, again, if I just compare Sandbox versus Ethereum to see if there's anything that is worthwhile, we see that it's been oscillating since, let's say, late November. So that means it's Sandbox versus Ethereum is basically seeing some red candles and some green candles. And if I look at the actual weekly chart to see if Sandbox has done anything that's important in the last little while, we'll notice that I guess on a weekly chart, obviously it had this nice parabolic uptrend in October until sometime in late November, and then since then it's kind of been let's say a bit more bearish. So I'm just for now, this may be changing. So obviously we'll pay attention to what Sandbox does in the next day or two. But right now it's at approximately $4 US, and looks like it's obviously it's lower than where it was at in late November, but it may be changing a trend to do better in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye on Sandbox as well. So if I look at Engine Coin, Gala, and WAX, so again, always great to compare it versus the actual Ethereum, which is the blue chip. So Engine Coin versus Ethereum, if I look at it over here on the Binance Exchange, so on a weekly chart, it looks like they're kind of oscillating. So basically, it looks like what Engine Coin was doing was that at a certain point, it went up quite a bit in March of last year versus Ethereum, and then it went down quite a bit versus Ethereum, and since then it looks like it's been kind of oscillating. So it had went on this nice run, and then it dropped really sometime in late November. And if I look at Engine Coin on the weekly chart, just to see if anything is happening that should be paid attention to. So it looks like on a weekly chart, it looks kind of, I mean, it's kind of really still a bearish trend since late November. And if I look at the daily chart to see if anything is important that is going on that we should be paying attention to, with the indicators, we don't really see much as far as any kind of on this daily chart. I mean, really, if you look at the trend lines, it looks like it's hit this this very important trend over here. Basically, if we make a trend line from this support position and bring it all the way back to over here, we see that this position was a very important location for Engine Coin, because since May of 2021, it has hit this line many times as either at resistance or also as a support over here. So it looks like it didn't go below that, so that could be a good sign. But we have to pay attention to what it does, something around here. And if I look at again Engine Coin versus on a weekly chart, it didn't really give us much. So obviously, it's right here. It is on a weekly chart. It looks like it's been kind of going up and going down. So let's see what it does over the next little while. We're going to pay close attention to see if it doesn't break below this support line. Next two tokens I'd like to look at is Gala and WAX. So if I look at what Gala is doing as far as against Ethereum, so we know Gala went on this massive run last year, and so it looks like against Ethereum right now on weekly chart, it's kind of been bleeding really since late November. And if I look at what Gala has done on its own versus US dollar chart, so weekly, obviously, it had this parabolic move in November, but it looks like since then, it's kind of been pretty bearish. And if you look at the daily chart, just to compare and see if there's anything that's worthwhile that's been happening on a daily chart, we see that really it's kind of still a downtrend. I mean, obviously it looks like it broke below these important support lines here. Then it went below this line here. Over here, it looks like it was able to kind of stay above 18 cents. So let's see what it does. Let's see if it continues staying around here, or if it breaks lower, or if it goes higher. And the last coin I like to look at basically for now would be WAX, just to pay attention to see if anything's happened with WAX versus ETH, as well as so it looks like it doesn't have itself versus ETH, and doesn't have a chart against Bitcoin either. So let's just look at a WAX versus the US dollar, just to get an idea about where it's at, to see if there's anything that's important to pay attention to it. So it looks like versus the US dollar on a weekly chart, it looks like it's not, I can't really see anything that's important here. I mean, we just see that it's not great. I mean, it's kind of like, it looks like it stayed above this 50. I mean, if you look at this on the daily chart for WAX, it looks like it's not much is happening here. I mean, obviously it's very bearish, and it's, you see here, basically had this nice parabolic move. It went up from 18 cents all the way up to 95 cents. So that was a good 500% increase. So obviously, and then that was a great investment for those who were able to enjoy this ride. But since then, it's gone down pretty much back to the exact same level where it was at last September. So it looks like it's over here right now. We'll pay attention to this, and we'll just see if anything changes with WAX in the next couple of days. So all in all, to summarize, if you look at what's going on with really these top I guess top GameFi coins, not much really. None of them really that great. And we saw also that I mean, if you look at CoinGecko, it looks like even though like Sandbox has had a good 7-day increase and so forth in its market cap, these are still not giving us much of an indication that they'll be doing anything worthwhile over the next little while. We'll pay close attention to these, and if anything changes, we'll take a close look to see if it's a good time to buy any of those tokens for a long term. Just a disclaimer from me, from these coins that are here, I own the Sandbox, and I also have participated in the Polkadot parachains with EFI token, which EFI will be it'll be running on Polkadot, and the founders of Engine Coin were also involved with the EFI token. So have a great day, everyone, and we'll touch base tomorrow.